Hey everybody, this Tanker Truck Showdown set is from the LEGO Marvel Superheroes theme, and it's based on the Captain America Civil War movie. The tanker truck itself is the main build, and there are a number of things that I like about it. First of all, it has the proper shape with the whole cab forward design, really low cab there, and a nice large-sized tanker section. But even though it is a fairly large thing, vehicle thing, in a superhero set, they didn't go with some crazy wide scale, 8 wide, 10 wide or something like that. This would fit in right with any regular LEGO City line set, so you could put this into any regular airport or anything, and it's just going to fit right in. It's 6 wide at the fuselage. This has a little bit of extension for the tires, which is pretty standard, but I mean the length is normal. It's articulated right there. It doesn't go all the way a full 90 degrees, but I think you could modify that out fairly easily to get a little bit more articulation out of it, and it just looks good just like this, with no modifications really. This also has a pretty significant built-in action feature, which you don't see much of except for the big knob on the side. Now, I do wish that that was a little bit smaller, a little bit less obvious. You can make it less obvious by putting something smaller on there, but basically it just has an axle that sticks out. But beyond that, the real features, the things that move, are well hidden away. You just see that the roof looks like it may be split a little bit in the center, which could generally just mean that you could lift up one section, or maybe it was built in 2 sections, but in reality, you turn the knob and all kinds of things happen. All kinds of things happen. So the top blows up, fire comes out, the back of it pops off entirely, and at the top you can see that it's not even a straight cut. It's not flat there, so they actually have angles there. That's pretty nice, and if you want to, you can open this up the rest of the way, spread the flames out just a little bit more, but you can also hide some stuff inside of here if you want to use some of that space. I mean, the flames will come down in there, but you know, you can kind of change up how you set the thing up, and it's got a little bit of kind of flame detail around the base of the flames that shoot straight up, so a lot of trans orange elements around there. But when you don't want all this to be visible, you just fold everything in. It really doesn't require any special treatment. And then this back part that popped off, boo-hoo, we'll just line that back up. One thing that I do not like about this is that it does show how some LEGO parts are different colors than others, even though they're supposed to be the same color, such as if you look closely right there. This is darker, this is lighter, but this is also a little bit translucent. You can see some of the studs underneath actually showing through. So I wish that that material was a little bit more opaque. It needs to be. Incidentally, the tractor section can of course be just separated off. That looks really cool to me. It doesn't have any wall on the back of it, but kind of looks like just a big window. It's just not filled in. Fire extinguisher here, and you take the roof off as is usual to get access. In this case, it came with the windscreen, but there's a single seat in there, and there's a sticker for a little bit of console detail. No steering wheel though, and also they didn't include a driver for this, so you kind of have to supply your own driver unless you want to use one of the superheroes to drive a tanker truck around. The windsock assembly is pretty nice looking. I like how much of the checkered white and red they got into it, and they also used red and white parts even for some of the mechanism of this. Now, the mechanism of it is very simple. Basically, any way that you want, you find a way to knock the thing over. You can just hit it anywhere from here up to the tip. You can also rotate this around just to orient it how you want, but the general idea is you hit it and it falls down, and the barrels, these are fuel barrels, that's a sticker on each one, they're identical, those just come off, and of course if you hit it harder, more quickly, then they just come off a little bit more dramatically. And they also give you a couple of little spots of fire, just random fire to place around your scene. Amongst these figures, the new Spider-Man really takes center attention for me, so I'm going to focus on that for just a minute here because I feel it really deserves it. This coming from someone who's still not much of a fan of Spider-Man. I mean, I'm cool with him, but he just doesn't really excite me that much as a character. Maybe that'll start to change with the new cinematic interpretation of him, but this figure definitely excites me as soon as I saw it. The headpiece is done very nicely. The torso print is nice. Look at that. Look at just the crisp lines going through it. I know I used that term probably too much, but I can't think of better words to describe what my eyes are really focusing on, especially these lines around the side with the red there. That's just really good looking stuff. And also this has dual molded legs with red on the base and then the dark blue above that, plus printing, and the print kind of interacts a little bit around the top of the boots. And then he has this printing on the arms. Both arms have printing. That is really good. More good printing on the back of the torso as well. The head is done in pretty much the normal way that they do for Spider-Man, or have done in recent years, but just in general, that figure excites me, and I feel like that is one very good reason to get this set in and of itself. And then we get Vision, who is striking amongst Lego figures because of that unusual color scheme with the very just extreme contrast between the very saturated magenta and then the desaturated sand green. It really stands out. He also has a great material used for the cape. It has a certain metallic sheen to it. It just kind of refracts light a little bit. I don't think that my lighting right now does it that great a justice, but it also feels good. It feels like it has some intrinsic value, like beyond what it's being used for character-wise. It just feels like some quality material that would cost something, non-trivial. Allows you to bring it up. It's not going to crease, and that makes it easy to look at the print on the back of Vision, which is good. And then, of course, we've got Hawkeye and Captain America, two very popular figures, of course. No alternate facial prints for these three guys, but Hawkeye, yeah, he does get one alternate face where he's looking more serious, and that makes sense. He's got his compound bow there. And in general, these are good figures. I actually feel like the Captain America here may be the least interesting of the four, which is really surprising. For Spider-Man, they do include one of the new clear pieces, a stud with a bar on it, or a bar with a stud on it, and the web piece that comes out that can attach to that. It's got just a hollow stud in between there to make it more secure. That's good stuff. And they also include a super jumper to use with any of the figures that you like. But let me actually grab the instructions. This is a little bit funny to me. With every successive new set, I feel like Lego is being more and more emphatic that you need to take your figure and lean it way forward and bend, and just be careful not to get the legs caught on the super jumper when you attach it, and especially when you take it off. But no matter what, the fact remains, if you do this, no matter how careful you are going to put a little bit of wear on the leg right there. So I personally still prefer to not use these unless you have some spare legs that aren't something as special as this. Lastly, the set also includes a motorcycle, which is intended mostly to be used by Hawkeye because it has purple, and Hawkeye has purple. That's pretty much it. I do like the silver frames for these, but this is just your basic Lego dirt bike, design with a sticker. Very nice looking main build in this set that's very versatile. It can be easily taken out of the superheroes universe. A nice selection of figures. I feel like the price is pretty reasonable for what you get, and you get some good play value overall. And if you don't want to use the play features, you don't have to. They don't really detract much from the collectability and displayability of the thing, except for that one knob on the tanker truck, and you can easily customize that down to be smaller, less visible. All told, I am very happy with this set. I'm happy with what they've done with it, and I'm happy with how they've priced it for what you get. That's it for my thoughts. Please do share what you think about the set. Leave a little comment on the video down below, and I'll talk to you again soon.